Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is, what is it, Wednesday, hump day? It's 1:22 p.m. is the time of me recording this. And guys, I got to do it before I need a nap because I get up early with the puppy. So I'm Melanie Hinds. I'm your fastest Iraqi Dinar summary on the net. And guys, there were so many articles. Tom was in for Jack. Keep praying for them. Pray for my puppy too. There's so much going on, guys, in preparation. Think about how big this weekend is coming up, where they're hosting the Arab Summit. Last time, it was 6 years ago, and Lebanon was hosting it. So they were, anyways. So Saudi Arabia signed agreements worth $300 billion with the U.S. That was huge. When they looked in contrast to the last 11 years, it was only a total of $500 billion. And then in one day, with Trump only being in over 100 days, a $300 billion agreement. So that was big, and I know some people hate it, some people love it, some people spin all sorts of conspiracy theories, but I just bring you truth, facts, and optimism as these military-approved articles share. So please subscribe, tap the bell. It's the closest thing to truth you're going to get coming out of Iraq. Lebanon opening a new page of investment, trade, reapproachment with the Iraq. Lebanon and Iraq, they're working together now, and Lebanon hosted this Arab Summit before, now it's Iraq. The details of these articles, I did my best doing the timestamps. I think I did the timestamps up through an hour from the live stream this morning. So if you want the details, you can go to my live stream and you can listen for yourself. Iraq's keenness to strengthen relations with the World Bank. They are keen to strengthen, guys, they're on the same banking system. This banking system that's in Iraq, in my opinion, based on what I've heard from my contacts there, military contacts, they have this unique system. They've seen the system. It's an AI system. It encompasses the voting system, the banking system, the border system, the port system, the railway systems, the trucking systems. Every system in Iraq is this new system. I look at it as the crown of what the World Bank's strategy is overall in the International Monetary Funds, Bank of International Settlements, etc. They're all Iraq. If it can work in Iraq, it can work everywhere, and it's being implemented everywhere, in my opinion. It's probably going to be implemented in Lebanon. I think it's being implemented in Syria. I think that's one of the reasons why Trump released Syria from all the things, because they're putting in the new system. And this whole weekend could be revealing that system and its impact, making Iraq secure and stable. And so I think the rate could be released anytime. So the next article is Al-Sudani meets with the head of the National Wisdom Movement. Also, Iraq business leaders join the U.S. Investment Summit in Washington, D.C. I talked about that a few days ago when they were headed here. Nobody knew when. We get the article on May 14th after they've been here already 3 days. There are 46 business executives from Iraq here in the U.S. So, guys, it's a summit. It's called the Select USA Investment Summit. As you know from all the deals Trump has been making, people are investing in the U.S. Iraq is no different. But how can Iraq invest in the U.S. if they do not have a globally recognized currency? Things that make you go, right? So I think it's soon. Al-Sudani meets with the Secretary General of the Badr Organization. He's always doing political things with different organizations. The U.S. summit kicks off in Riyadh. There was a U.S. summit in Riyadh that the Gulf U.S. summit kicked off Wednesday morning in the Saudi capital, Riyadh. So obviously that was President Trump there. And so, he's doing his thing. And then Al-Sudani inaugurated a steel plant at the state company for iron and steel in the Basra Governorate. Then you've got this article about Foreign Minister, Baghdad Summit will be effective, distinguished, and marked by realistic discussions. Guys, they're going to discuss the systems and how Iraq has gotten so secure and stable and why they're a pinnacle of the Middle East and a stabilizing force there. And it's the systems. I used to audit systems. That's why I bring unique insights to all of this information. And that's why I have a unique intel source who gives me the information, because I'm truth, facts, and optimism. That is what I do here. Arab League Secretary General, Iraq is witnessing significant transformations, and that is what this weekend is all about, the transformation of Iraq. He also met with the Secretary General of the Arab League. There's meetings before the meetings, closed-door meetings before the meetings to talk about what the meetings are going to be about and talk about more details that they can't talk about in the public forum. So Arab economy and trade ministers emphasize the importance of achieving economic integration. How are they going to be economically integrated? They're all going to be on the same system. Guys, the old SWIFT system is being replaced, and I think most of it already has been. They just haven't told you about it because they didn't want you to freak out. They want you to be at peace. Arab Ministerial Economic Council proposal to establish a council of Arab trade ministers. Of course, Arab people want to stick together, and they are going to, and I think this is all going to be good. Saudi Arabia and the U.S. signed an economic partnership. That was on Tuesday. A lot of different people are going to do a lot of different articles about this. I'm just including this in the summary. Why? Because his visit is including the Middle East, and that's where the Iraqi dinar is. That's where Iraq is. Iran meets with Europe, the E3 in Istanbul to break a nuclear deal stalemate. Iran is still also doing indirect talks with the U.S. representative, and our representatives, and they're also talking directly with the E3. So who knows? I think once they put these systems in, we're going to have world peace. First International Conference on Baghdad Herbal Relation kicks off in Al Somaniyah. Another summit is kicking off. Guys, we get this news, breaking news, way before anybody else. U.S. rethinks Gulf rebrand after Iran's outcry. Okay, so I did this article in detail. That was the last article I went through on my live stream, so it's towards the end. You could always go there and watch it, but I thought it was funny because somebody even asked me, do you believe it's the Persian Gulf or the Gulf of Arabia, right? Or whatever. I didn't have an answer. I said, I'm not Google. I don't know. And I'm not a politician. And I'm also not a bureaucrat. I'm not a, what do you call it? A politician. I don't do political things. And then they have an article about it. So if you're interested in that, go watch that. So it's kind of interesting. Google made the mistake, and that's what started this. It wasn't any one person. It was Google. And I happen to work for Google because Google owns YouTube. So there you go. Whatever. So now we're going to the summary of everybody else. We're 6.5 minutes in. That's about the way it goes. So you should subscribe and tap the bell because I have enough intel to keep you busy. But I also give you everybody else's perspective just in case you listen to them too and you don't have time, because I know people how you don't have time. My husband works 2 jobs. I have 2 businesses. So Frank 26, he's in Hawaii. I'm very jealous that he's in Hawaii right now. I gave you this nice picture of my river. We're entering a good season here. Mr. Sammy says, think about the importance of this weekend. All the meetings that are being held between Alak and our president of Iraq. It is at the palace. Alak is the trigger man for the rate. That's what Sammy says. And I agree with him. I think the central bank of Iraq is the reason why this is all happening, and they can pull that trigger whenever they want. He said he ain't just talking to him about a program rate. We know the majority of the meeting was held on the monetary reform success. The meeting was very significant. The fact that Alak and Sudani are also at this meeting with the IMF gives central bank permission to lift the value or change their value of their currency. These are exciting meetings that lead to only one conclusion. We're all waiting for that rate. Nobody knows the day or time, though. I just report the truth and the facts as we see them coming out. Militiaman, article quote, Iran removing 4 zeros from the national currency is one of the key measures included in the action plan. That's Iran, not Iraq, Iran. Now watch, you're going to have numbers, different people on the internet saying it's a lop. If you believe the United States Treasury and the World Bank and the Bank of International Settlements have worked for 21 years to erase the value of the currency, you have to be kidding me. Lopping a currency isn't part of a current reform program. It's destroying the value. That's not what we're talking about. We have 2 really rich countries. The Toman, this might have been a misprint. The Toman/Rial is far less valued than the Iraqi dinar. I think this is good. So he's talking about Iran because it's in close proximity to Iraq. Also, if you look at Kuwait, it's a neighbor to Kuwait. The Kuwaiti dinar is right next door to Iraq, and their value of their currency is $1 equals 3.30 Kuwaiti dinar. And the prime minister himself was talking about that on the TV. They are not going to lop the currency. You're going to get 1 for 1. If you have $1,000 note and it's $1, you'll get 1,000 Iraqi dinar. But what you might get back is a $1 denominated note because it's now have a bigger value. The value is going to change. The redenomination has to happen when the value changes. Just subscribe, tap the bell, get on one of my lives and ask me the questions, and I'll explain it in a better way because I'm extremely sleep deprived with a puppy that just had surgery. Mark Z, buckle up. The news is really solid. Question, do you think the trigger has been pulled? Is it a slow rollout? Mark Z said yes. We all think it's done, guys. It's about time it's done. How long you been in this? Comment down below. I've been in it 12 years. Claire says, article, Central Bank of Iran removing 4 zeros from the national is the heart of the action plan for this year. Let's see. I think that's enough, right? Oh, the other thing is, I have a good friend. The call today, let's see, Tony and Rayren's call is on right now. I'm going to get on it and see what they have to say, but I wanted to get this done because I am going to take a nap after this probably while I'm listening, right? If anything changes, you know I'm going to be the first one to let you know, and I'm going to be the first one that does the live stream that says the time is now, when it affects, when we could do something with our currency in the US. We're hearing calls from people saying the banks are calling them wanting to come in and talk. Do not give your currency up until we know what the real value is, and we won't know what the real value is until after the time is now live. Does that make sense? I hope that clarifies it for you. Please subscribe. Make sure the bell is tapped. And for those who've been subscribed for a while, make sure you're still subscribed and make sure the bell is tapped so you're going to be notified, because this thing is getting heated. And I will go live as soon as we hear anything where we could go to the bank here. Otherwise, I'll keep sharing with you. Tomorrow, it's important. Thursday, one of the guys on the street, they have contacts on the street that has a meeting with a banker about a home loan. We're going to see. They had two zeros dropped in their negotiations. We'll see what their rate is. So make sure you join us tomorrow morning at 9. We should have some good news. And other than that, please pray for my puppy's quick healing. She's in her first 24 to 36 hours, so I have to keep an eye on her all the time. It's kind of annoying, but I love you all. I'm also keeping an eye on the Iraqi dinar I got one eye on the puppy, one eye on the dinar. Talk to you soon. Bye.